Hey everyone, this is Starscream0625, and today I'll be bringing you a review of the Transformers Age of Extinction Generations Deluxe Class Dinobot Scorn. So here Scorn is in his Spinosaurus mode, and being a mild dinosaur enthusiast myself, he looks like a Spinosaurus. On screen, he has 3 spines. This toy only has 1, but that's acceptable because I don't know how they would have been able to engineer 3 spines on this figure and still give him a feasible robot mode. That being said, I think he should have been a Voyager if you want a real 5 Spinosaurus. Here he is next to Grimlock, the Voyager. And see, I'm going to have to bring the camera back a bit. And Scorn is much shorter. Doesn't appear so on camera, but he is. And a Spinosaurus was about as big as a Tyrannosaurus. So that's that. And here he is next to Slug, which I guess this is a more acceptable size. And that's all for the Dinobots that I currently own. But no, for posability in this mode, Scorn can open his jaw, let's see, this wide, but you have to move his hand up here out of the way and then move back into place when you move his jaw. He has a neck swivel here, and it moves his turkey waddle-like piece here with it, which is also on a hinge. And then he also has a rotation here down towards the end of his neck. He can't move here at this joint because this chest piece with the hands locks his neck in place. His legs are on ball joints, but these pieces up here do get in the way a little bit. You get a nice range of movement there. You have to be careful with this waist piece, though. On mine, it does not like to lock in to this chest skirt piece for robot mode, and thus his legs like to flap around. But if you so wish, you can start to transform him and move the bottom half of his leg around too. But as far as the ball joint goes for a Spinosaurus mode, that's all the leg articulation he has. He also has ball jointed arms, nice fluid range of motion there, and his tail is immobile. Unless you unpeg this pelvic skirt, you could move it around easily. You know, overall, it's a very nice Spinosaurus mode. It has a nice amount of paint, some orange, some red. These spines up here, these are a soft plastic, although they're not easily bent. They're nice and thick in comparison to, oh gosh, maybe Ravage's spines from Revenge of the Fallen. Those were a little too flimsy for my tastes. But no, these are a nice strength. No, this is a very nice Spinosaurus mode, and my favorite mode of Scorn's 2 modes. So let's transform Scorn into a robot mode. First, let's remove the sword from his tail. It pegs in down here under the tail, and it's held in by friction because this tail is all one big piece of rubber. Put the tail off to the side, or excuse me, the sword. Then you want to come up here to these spines. You want to unpeg them. There is a tab here and a slot right here. You're going to rotate it around the mushroom peg, and then you're going to use the same tab and plug it into that slot right there on what will be his back. Same thing again. Tab it in. I'm going to raise the camera. Excuse me for a moment. Okay. Next, you want to come down here, and you want to move the tail up to get that out of the way, and unpeg his chest piece at the arms, freeing up this assembly up here. Then you're going to not going to rotate that yet. You want to extend his legs down, like so, on multiple hinges. Then you're going to flip out his toe, the middle Spinosaurus toe, to get into this pointy feet. Then bring this piece down from the thigh to make the illusion of having jaws on his hips. Same thing right here. Bring that out. Then you want to take this entire thing, this entire waist piece, and you're going to rotate it all the way around, bringing his shoulders up. You see the gap there from where they once were, and then you bring the head up. Then I'm going to rotate this, bring it down, like so. I'm going to swing his waist backward after pegging this in here. This will lock his entire waist rotation assembly into place. There's a tab here and a slot right there. And it does limit waist articulation, but he won't transform on you. And then I just tend to bring these arms up against his shoulders. Once you bring his waist back all the way, you can bring this waist piece down, which doesn't like to peg in very well for me. Kind of the soft tabs in. Let's see. Bring this piece down again. Then, for his feet, you want to bring these two sides of what were Spinosaurus legs out, like so. It gives them a more beefy look to his knees, otherwise they're very, very skinny. Or skinny, not his knees, his lower leg. Then you want to come here to a Spinosaurus head. You want to rotate it around on this hinge up here. Bring it down. Then you want to unpeg the Spinosaurus. Lower jaw, bring it all the way up. Then you want to fold out the hand. Bring his head up. And there you have Scorn in his robot mode. And as I already said, I like the Spinosaurus mode much more than I like the robot mode. He does have a nice look to him, I won't lie, but I don't like the fact that his sword is his hand, or is his left hand. It is similar to Beast Wars Megatron, which I don't mind as much, but I think they could have brought this maybe up on another hinge up here, and I had a hand flip out down here. Or perhaps that would have ruined the storing of the sword that pegs into his tail. Speaking of the sword, it's very nice. Kind of reminds me of a dinosaur tooth with this serrated edge. And it can be pegged into his hand. Probably wants to call it a dagger, it's not very large. But posability in this mode, his head is not a ball joint, so it cannot do a full 360 because it is limited by the shoulder pieces here. And his head can look all the way up that way, and then all the way back down. You can shave these neck pieces off, I'd rather not do it and risk breaking my figure. But it can be done to give his head a little more motion going up and down. The shoulders can do a full 360. You got a joint up in the shoulder. You got a shoulder rotation here below the shoulder. You got a nice 90-degree elbow, and also goes all the way back 90 degrees. Then the wrist can go in and out, but that's true transformation. You can conceivably bring the dinosaur jaw down to make a more coherent hand, but then it looks much more obvious that he has a dinosaur head for his hand. You can also peg his hand back into his Spinosaurus head and give him the whole Beast Wars Megatron look by giving him a dinosaur head for his hand, instead of having an actual hand. He has no waste piece unless you want to unpeg this piece back here and start retransforming him into Spinosaurus mode. He does have the camera. I've only made matters worse. Okay, that's better. He has ball jointed hips. Nice range of motion there. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got an upper knee joint, that far forward, that far back. And then he's got an actual knee joint, but it can only go into 3 positions. 1, 2, 3. And then his toe can pivot. So all in all, a very nimble figure. It's a nice range of posability. Oh, I forgot about this arm here. There is another, there's a rotation up here in the shoulder. You got a shoulder swivel up here. And then you got an elbow joint here that gives you about 90 degrees of movement with his tail / lance. All in all, he looks very, very nice. In order to give a close-up on the head sculpt, it does appear very simple, but it is very nice. It's very angular in certain areas, and it has some nice paint blue on the visor and silver for the mouth plate. It looks very nice. For comparison in robot mode, here Scorn is next to the high-octane Bumblebee figure. You can see how they compare. Bumblebee is taller. Granted, Scorn isn't standing all the way straight. Although Scorn, I believe, is the shortest of all the Dinobots. He's not very tall. So Bumblebee beats him by a little bit as far as height goes. All in all, out of the 3 Dinobots that I own, being Slug, Grimlock, and Scorn, Scorn is my least favorite. But that doesn't mean that Scorn isn't a good figure. He's a wonderful figure. All the Dinobots are really cool, and I love their aesthetic. I just feel that he has the weakest robot mode of the bunch. Although I believe his beast mode is the best of all of them. But I do recommend this figure to complete the set of Dinobots. So this has been the video review of the Transformers Generations Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Dinobot Scorn. This has been Starscream 065. Thank you very much for watching, and do take care.